Hey everybody, welcome to Make It with Mod Podge. I'm Steve Piacenza.
And my name is Cathie Filian, and we are so excited to be doing this live Make It with Mod Podge today because we have a brand new formula for Mod Podge to share with you. Oh my
gosh, we have Mod Podge Ultra Spray On Mod Podge. You've all been waiting for it. Here it is.
And you know, it is true. Everybody's been waiting for it.
Yes.
This is one of the things that Plaid gets all the time is they say, can we have a spray formula that glues and seals?
Right.
And you know what?
Here it is today.
Plaid made it.
And we're going to show it to you. We're going to start off with just showing you some kind of things that, what the Mod Podge kind of requires at the beginning. And we're going to go through tons of projects for you today and show you everything we have made for you.
Yeah, we've got 13 different projects that we're going to share.
Yeah.
And like Steve said, we're going to walk you through all the 101 of this, or what is it, the 101? 101 is like the basic class, right? The 411 would be the scoop.
This is the basic 101, just to get people started in making projects and learning how to use this stuff because it's incredible.
And I think one of the things that's going to be a little bit confusing about this is that we're not using any paintbrushes.
Well, no paint brushes and no, there's no paint strokes. I mean, let's get through it. Let's get through it because this stuff's insane. And we're going to show you also how you're going to want to shake this stuff up. You want to pump to prime it. There's no brush strokes. These are it's in and outdoor, ready to use.
UV protection.
UV protection, which is great. Yeah.
And I think some of the other things that are really cool about it is the paper is repositionable when you're working with it, so you do get a little bit more time to get your paper in that exact spot that you want it. And like you said, very, very high adhesion.
High adhesion, self-leveling.
Yep.
And water and scratch resistant. Yeah.
So many good things about it.
Should we start?
Yeah. So let's start with what the bottles are. So again, it's a glue and a sealer. But what I really, really think is super different and cool about this is it's also a 3D embellishment glue. So if you're doing mixed media or you're doing a project that you want to add embellishments to, like even as much as like these heavy glass marbles and things like that, you can add your embellishments right as you're doing your project.
Yeah, and again, it comes in the 8-ounce bottle and the 4-ounce bottle.
And it's going to come in matte
and gloss.
So
here's matte and gloss right here that we made this little board for you just to show the matte finish and the gloss finish. You know, I love the matte because it's got that, real kind of...
It's almost like a velvet texture.
It's a velvet texture, yeah. And of course the gloss is pretty self-explanatory, super glossy.
And one thing to note about this formula is you're not brushing it on, you are spraying it on. So you want to do lots of light coats, not like a heavy, heavy, thick coat. And we're going to go into all of those details. But so this is about 4 coats right here of the gloss. And then that's 2 coats of the matte, because I really didn't need any more sealing of it.
Yeah. And again, remember, it's the same as the original Mod Podge. It's a glue and a sealer.
Right. And so the gloss bottle, you're going to find it with the traditional gloss-colored label, that's sort of orangey red color. Yeah. And the matte, you're going to find in that traditional yellow label, just like you'd see in your brush-on bottles.
Yeah, you know what else I love about this stuff? It's like non-tacky. Once the stuff dries, it's non-tacky at all. So after, a couple hours, about 4 hours once things dry, there is zero tack to it.
I know, and when this formula was first behind the scenes, I kind of didn't believe that.
Until we got it in our hands, we were like, They were explaining it to us, and then we're like, we had to use it. And then, of course, it is everything they said it was. It is amazing product.
So I made this funny sample board just to show you all the different types of embellishments that you can glue with the Mod Podge Ultra. So we've got plain wood, painted wood. A lot of people use clothespins in their crafts. Yeah. And if you see, there is no glue around the edge. So
nothing.
There's no pool. Usually if you're using, a white glue or something, you'll get like a little bit seeping out on the edges. You don't get any of that. Seashells, even just little tiny points, buttons, pom-poms, corks. I love this chain for people who do mixed media and jewelry stuff.
This is my favorite. Look at the sand and the beads here. And again, if you were to do this with, other materials, sometimes you would see that clumpiness of whatever material you're using. But this kind of just makes it all blend completely together with nothing else showing but the material itself.
And the other thing I think to note is that with the Mod Podge Ultra, you're able to glue metals, glass, glitter, paper, the embellishments, it's endless because, some of the other glues don't work well with glass or metals, they tend to pop. we're not seeing any of that.
But what's so cool about it is, again, we're going to show you how to do this, but I just want to explain. Like, we just sprayed this board, and then you drop down whatever it is, let it dry, and this is it. This is what happens to it. It's so hard to explain
well,
until you see it. Okay.
So now we want to show you the basics about how you prepare your project by shaking your bottle up.
Here we go. Okay, so let's show you. So we're going to, on both of these, more of the matte finish tends to separate, so you want to make sure to give it a really great shake. I like to shake it for about 15 minutes. Just get all those
15
elements.
minutes?
I'm sorry, 15 seconds.
Can you imagine?
Thank you for catching that. Oh gosh.
Not 15 minutes.
No, 15 seconds. Give it a nice shake just like that. And with the gloss, the same thing. Kind of just, give it a nice shake. And then you want to prime it. We call it priming it, which you want to make sure that you give it about 3 great pumps. And that's going to get everything flowing through this nozzle great. And that's pretty much how you prime your Mod Podge Ultra. After each project, we definitely like to take a little wipey and then just wipe the nozzle like that, and then boom, put your cap on, you can store it away.
And that's for both formulas.
That's
you
for both
just want to
formulas.
keep that nozzle clean.
So that's just an FYI before we start our projects. Okay, now that this is primed, we're going to show you some paper crafting. So we're going to be using, we've all done scrapbook paper and Mod Podge. Now we're going to show you how to do it with the Mod Podge Ultra. So we have this little sample board here and a piece of scrap paper. And all you're going to do is you're going to spray all the way around it. Get all those edges. I like to go all the way around the edges and then straight up the middle. Now with my paper, again, around all the edges and then straight up the middle. Then you're ready to place it right down on top of your board. Now I want to show you something very quickly. So there we have it. And I go around the edges and it's done. Now, if your paper wasn't perfect, all you'd have to do is pull it right back up. You have a lot of time to be able to reposition it. And that's the beauty of this stuff. You can reposition any paper. The other thing I want to show you very quickly is you can see that there is minimal bubbles on this paper. This is ready to be placed on the side and dried. A little note. We like to use these bottle caps here. If you're using the same surface that you're working on and to dry, we like to definitely use these little bottle caps and place it right on top, because any of that overspray that's going to happen, this will attach straight to your project. So just make sure it's a little bit elevated, or you can wipe it down a little bit, move it. But we used to use these bottle caps just to keep the surfaces separated from each other. If you get any type of little bubbles, again, just use your fingers, go straight across. I go around the edges, and it really is as simple as that. And look at how pretty and fast and easy that is.
And I like to place it on the bottle caps for the top coating also.
Absolutely. So once that's done, then you're going to, once it's all positioned and perfect the way you want to, you're going to seal it, give it a nice little spritz, and there you go. You're ready to set that aside, and we like to let it dry for about 4 hours.
So now I want to show you if you want to layer up papers and embellishments onto that. So this is kind of a look at what we're going for, the finished little plaque. And this is really just a sample project just to show you just the basics of how you do it. So again, I'm going to take my bottle, prime it like that. And now for this one, I'm going to go over my project. This one's been drying. And then I've got just a paper daisy cut out. So I'm going to do the back of that, try to get all those edges. And then I'm going to place it wherever I want it. For this, I'm just doing it right in the center. I like to, whoop, see, look how repositionable it is. Go ahead and get that where I want it. And this is all going to self-level. And again, no brush strokes. Even where I'm making my finger marks, none of that's going to show.
No brush strokes. That's amazing.
Now, on this one, the finished one, you can see that I used one of those big, large gems in the center. And you can go ahead and apply any of your embellishments right now while it's wet. So I've got just a plain glass gem. I'm going to spray the back of it. And then I'm just going to place it right in the center. And then I'm going to spray over it too. just to seal that down. And then at this point, you're going to want to let this dry to the touch, to like 4 hours, but really to cure it, I would say 24 hours, 4 to 24 hours for a full cure if you're going to gift wrap it or something like that.
And again, look at that, scratch resistant, water resistant.
Yeah.
So pretty.
And no brush marks.
And no brush
and
marks.
that was something at Plaid that we kept hearing over and over again is we want a spray bottle and we want no brush strokes. I mean, everybody, bubbles and brush strokes, I think are the two biggies, right? Well, this formula really takes care of that. Now, I want to show you another embellishment. And this is just a really simple kind of country frame that I did. And this has these very tiny gems. I hope that the light is catching those. Because if you've worked with these little gems before, you know how hard they are to glue down without getting the, a little rim of glue.
The overflow.
And the sticky back ones, they're fun, but they don't really have the longevity. So I went ahead and I added my paper just the same way we did the plaque to this frame. And then I want to show you how you just easily spray down your formula. And I've got these little tiny gems here. And you just pick them up. Let's see if I can do this all in one. Place it wherever you want. Just like so. I hope you can see that. Raphael's on the camera, everybody.
Hey, Raphael.
If anybody has questions, just ask us. And then you just top coat over it. And when that dries, it'll be just like that. No rim around there.
So cool.
So this whole frame was done with the Mod Podge Ultra. I added the paper, sealed the paper, and added all those gems. And you don't see any brush marks.
And again, no pools of glue.
Yeah.
Yeah. For these tiny little gems, this is amazing.
I know. It's because I do a lot with these little, especially these little lightweight ones. They can add so much pop. Very fun.
Okay, here's another paper craft that we did. We did this wreath, and this was a cutout wreath, wood. You can see on the back here, that wood. And we just cut out little bits of paper. This is, again, just an example to show you how this was done. This is the matte formula. So we just sprayed the wreath, spray, and with these cut up pieces of paper, we just added them right on top and just zipped through it. Again, no mess, no brush strokes, completely durable, scratch and water resistant, and you can see, again, the edges are so fine, and my favorite thing is, after 4 hours, no tack. There was 0 tack on this, and it dries beautifully. I love this matte formula, just the way it feels and the way it looks. It's that velvet look.
It's a nice finish.
Yeah.
And because it's UV and outdoor friendly, I wouldn't have this out in a blizzard, obviously, but it's great for front door if you're doing front door art or wreaths or things like that. This is a really cool way that you can incorporate papers into that look by gluing and sealing and then adding those extra embellishments.
Okay, now
This is Steve's favorite.
are we ready to be amazed? This is my favorite just because it's kind of so unbelievable that it really does amazingly work. Here's a little mosaic that we did. This is very small scale, and we had a plate like you would. This is a thick plate. It's very heavy ceramic. I just want to show you, this is with the Ultra. Just spraying the Ultra down, placing the pieces, and then sealing it on top. This holds, it's so, through the lens over there, you guys can't feel it or see it, but this is held together completely by the Mod Podge Ultra. That's how strong the adhesion is with this stuff.
Very high.
And again, no brush strokes. And what's more amazing to me is, again, in between, if you wanted to add grout to this, of course you could. But with all your mixed media projects and your three-dimensional embellishments, you're not getting any residue from any type of glue or whatever you would use for your mosaic. This stuff is amazing for mosaics. And let me show you how to do it very quickly.
And I think that's what's so different about this formula.
Yeah.
You would never think to use Mod Podge.
You would never think. And let me, once you spray this on, I'm going to prime this again. Again, I just like to do a quick little pump. Boom. And here's my board. So I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to lift it up like this so Raphael can get in there. It's a nice thin mist.
Yeah, you want to build the layers up. You don't want to be a big pool. You want to
not a big pool at all. Just a light layer. That's all you need. And I'm going to drop these pieces in. Just like this. They're just sitting right on top of this. Now look. That's all it is. You're dropping it, and wherever you want to position it, That's it. You're going to leave it just like that. Once you have everything into place, all you're going to do, my mosaic is done. And that's how quickly this stuff works. Again, 4 hours from now, this is going to be basically cemented in whichever area you're going to do it. That's what this Ultra Mod Podge does. It's amazing, amazing stuff. So here it is. I mean, there's not much more of a demo I can do because it's that quick and that easy and that cool.
So I want to show you another.
That's the mosaic.
And this is another way of doing a mosaic. It's a little bit more of an organic look. So this is the rock hearts. And this just started out just as one of these bases that you can buy, kind of like a pre-made background. And then we just penciled a heart behind there and then literally just sprayed our Mod Podge Ultra. This is the gloss formula. So you can see how shiny it made those rocks. And then we just set the rocks on there the same way as the mosaic. And then we top coated it with about 3 coats because we wanted to get a super shiny look.
Right.
So I hope that's really showing for you guys. But that's a really, you know, you could make this for Valentine's today. It's going to dry in 4 hours.
And again, no tack. No tack. And no residue.
And there's no glue.
No glue,
Yeah.
nothing. Are there any questions, Raphael?
Yeah.
Yes, people want to know if they can buy this immediately.
Yeah. Well, I think it's March 5th. Sorry, I'm looking at my cheat notes over there. March 5th, it's going to be available at Plaid online.
Yes.
I do believe spring for your retail brick and mortar stores. And there is pre-orders on Amazon. I know that Amazon loved it so much that they are set it up for pre-orders and things.
Yeah.
So it is, you know, it'll be in your hands right away.
So next month. About a month away.
Yeah.
And people want to know if they can use it to decorate wine glasses.
Oh,
yes,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah. I would just, you know, like a lot of people who do the wine glass decor, you kind of keep the lip a little bit clean there. But yeah.
Go an inch below the lip just so when you're, you know, drinking your wine.
As far as, but I would do hand wash. I wouldn't do, you know, dishwasher. It's not dishwasher safe that I know of. Not that, you know, but yeah. So many people do. Well, and we're going to show you a glittering technique that I think
Glitter and sand are coming up, so you can
really
see with those glasses.
Cool on the wine glasses, yes, especially the stem area and stuff.
Yeah.
Next, I want to show you. So, if anyone's like watches Make It with Mod Podge, you know that I'm a fabric lover, that I'm obsessed with fabrics just as much as papers. So, I wanted to create a piece of artwork to show you how this works with fabric, which is so fun. So this is just a simple background, and then this is just a wood mason jar, and then some fabric flowers that I cut out. And this is really easy to create and for it to come together. I'm gonna pass that off to you. So I've got my background here, and I found this gorgeous springy fun fabric. How cute is that? And I just really simply cut out the flower motifs. So I wasn't even like super careful because it's all gonna get layered up on each other, so it doesn't really matter. So I cut out a few of those, and then I'm gonna use the gloss. You could use either one. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shake.
Shake,
prime
rattle,
that
and
up.
roll.
And then for this, there's gonna be a few elements. So first, I'm gonna just go ahead and spray my board. I don't know exactly where my flowers are gonna land, so I'm gonna do a little bit more. There we go.
You're very gutsy today, Kat.
Oh, I know, right? Go around the edges first, and then to the center. And if you notice, I'm pushing all the way down, like Connie says, back and
Yeah.
forth. Make sure you push that all the way down. So then you will just go in and lay your flowers wherever you want. And the fabric, it feels kind of saturated, and you're thinking, oh, it's not going to stick. But it totally does. And then I'm going to create another one. Go around those edges first, and then to the center.
And again, great thing about it, no brush strokes.
Go ahead and layer that one up. And let's just add one more. This is really fun if you want to coordinate. Let's say you bought this fabric and you wanted to sew some sofa pillows or something, and then you wanted to create some artwork to go with it. See how it's repositionable still, but once it's down, it's going to be down. Go ahead and add that one. This is kind of like a fun collage. Now I'm going to go ahead and go into the top coat it. And if you get any sputtering like that, like I just did, it's okay, but then I'm just gonna go in and clean my tip. So that means I might have a little bit dried there. There we go. Now I've got my wood piece here, and I'm gonna use the same Mod Podge Ultra to attach my wood piece. So it's really as easy as that. I'm not even going for another glue or anything. Go around my edge. And I like to use a bit of wax paper there under there. Oops, I'm spraying it. There we go. Now I'm gonna place that right on top of my flowers, like so. Now normally I would set a heavy object on here, like a book or something like that, because this board is a little bit warped because it's, you know, wood. It's organic material. And now I wanna show you how you layer this over to make it look like it's sort of flowing over there. Same deal. I'm going to spray my flowers. And then we're just going to layer it up. Maybe have some of those leaves hanging down. And everything's still positionable at this point. But once it dries.
Once it dries, it is dry.
It is very solid.
Yes.
So now let's go in. And I just use my finger.
That's another thing I really like about this, Kath. It's you really get into those grooves with this.
Well, I think when you do the napkins on the bunny.
The napkins are really going to show up. And even the fabrics here, look at that, how they just kind of seep right on in. It's really nice.
Just kind of maybe go a little bit around there. This is really fun if you want to create holiday decor. You know, there's so many great fabric prints out there.
Yeah.
And so many people have their, you know, the brands that they love. And then you just go in and top coat.
Yeah, that is a good point because, you know, you're kind of limited with papers. I mean, there's only so many papers out there. And fabrics is a whole different world. So anything you want to use.
Yeah, and
you know?
seasonal too.
Yeah,
seasonal.
Good point.
So now you just want to set this aside and let it dry. And one thing that I did on the other one, but I don't want to show you here because there's just a big space, but I did go over my whole project with the spray Mod Podge just to kind of seal the wood and give it all the same background color.
Good protection.
But you can see when it's dry, it's so cute and so simple just to create some fun artwork for your house. And you know, it's so fast. So if you want to just change this out, you know, it's very easy.
You know, this is a great piece for inside, but you can also use it for outdoors.
Yes, very good point.
And here we made a little outdoor. This is called a, what is it, a yard stake?
Yard stake.
Yard stake. And we just added, it's the exact same concept what Kathy just showed you. But with this one, we just put right on top of this is Home Sweet Home. This kind of wood lettering.
And this is thick. This is really thick and heavy.
Let's show it.
And
show
all
that.
of that was attached with the Mod Podge
Just
Ultra.
with the Mod Podge. Again, it comes out like a water consistency, but this stuff holds amazingly. And again, UV protection. This is great for outdoors. Stick it right in your yard. You can have a lot of fun making these kind of signs.
Well, and you know me.
They're so popular again. And again, with fabric, which is cool.
Coordinating it.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm always doing parties and stuff for the girls, or like at their kindergarten graduation, I put out the graduation sign, and I think it's so fun. This is a really fast way to be able to create something for your yard.
Oh yeah. Okay, what is next?
Next up is, I think we're doing sand. Are we gonna do sand?
Yes, let's do sand. I'm gonna show you this here. This is a glass hurricane here that we just added sand and seashells to it. I'm going to show you how to do that. Let me pass it over to you, Kath, while I pull this up.
I want to show you all of this sand. We just did an organic edge there. You could tape it off if you want to. All of this was done just with the Mod Podge Ultra. And I think what's so cool, so many people have beach weddings or they decorate with beach decor. This is a really fun way with an inexpensive glass. You could buy these to all match, or you could thrift them and get a whole bunch of different ones and create a cohesive look just with the sand and the shells. But by doing it all the way around, if you're doing a centerpiece, everybody at the table is going to get a pretty look.
Oh, yeah.
Really fun. And when we were at our craft convention not too long ago, the design team at Plaid had done something with sand where they created it onto a canvas. So if you create a beach scene or something, you could always add a little bit of sand to that and create some texture.
Let me show you how easy it's done. So you can get any type of glass hurricane you want. There's two ways you can do this. You can either you can tape it off, put a piece of tape around it to get a clean look, but I like this organic look, and it really is as simple as taking your Mod Podge Ultra, I'm using gloss on this one, and I'm just going to spray it. Now you can see, just going all the way around the glass. I'm positioning it to where it's kind of halfway, because I'm going to keep the top glass. And then with my sand, and I have this box here just so it can catch everything, and I'm just going around it, and no waste, because the sand's going to go right back in my jar.
And this is the same technique they can use for wine glasses.
Correct.
Yeah, with glitter. And we're going to show you glitter also.
Just go around it, and there you go. I'm going to tap it off. And there you have it. It's that quick. It's that easy. I'm going to set this aside, let it dry for 4 hours.
And if you were doing like something that you wanted it to be more heavy duty, like more washable, you could always do the Mod Podge Ultra to get all of your materials on there, because for glittering and sanding like this, we have found this to be a superb technique.
Amazing.
You can seal it with dishwasher safe Mod Podge. So you could go back over it with and brush on some dishwasher safe if you needed to make something that was more permanent.
Or you just want to go back with your Ultra and go right on top and seal this.
Yeah, because you're not going to be putting that in the washing machine. Or...
And that's it. And the sand is not going to come off. So this, Raphael, you can just see this stuff is not moving. This is completely sealed, so it's a very light and airy look, but in reality, this sand is right on there. And if you wanted to add seashells, you'd let this dry for 4 hours. You'd find your areas, spritz it, and then literally just drop a shell right on top and let it sit for 4 hours, and that's gonna stick right on top of it. So you can make a cluster of seashells. You can also go around the whole entire area if you'd like. You know, create your own designs. These are great. These are great for candles. Like Cathie said, these are great for weddings, for parties. It's a beautiful look. And yes, whoever is asking about the wine glass, you can do the exact same thing with sand, with glitter, with paper, whatever you'd like. Yeah.
So now we want to show you about glittering. So we're going to show you this all over glittered rabbit, which would be sort of how you would do it for a wine glass or something like that. But I want to show you about stenciling with the Mod Podge Ultra formula. So we created this really cute sort of kids room art or bathroom art for if you have a kid's bathroom, just using this octopus stencil. And these glass marbles were all attached with the Mod Podge Ultra as well. And it's very, very simple to do.
And that's on a painted surface.
Yeah, so
Correct.
let me show you the surface first. So this is a 12 by 12 canvas. Well, let me show you the stencils. So the stencils come in a value pack like this of kids' designs. And this is the octopus from there. You get 81 different stencils in there.
And you can see all the different stencils right here. Everything from space to woodland creatures, to princes, to aquarium.
So that's the stencil pack. And they're cardboard stencils, and they're 12 by 12. So they're really fun for creating artwork for kids' rooms and stuff like that. So this is 12 by 12 canvas. And then we just used this apple barrel paint that we watered down a little bit. And we just brushed it on just to get some variations, just with the water and the paint mixed together. And then we sprinkled some chunky iridescent glitter in there just to create some kind of texture like an ocean wave type thing. Very, very simple to do. And then the one thing that we did this project 3 times behind the scenes to really perfect how to stencil with this. So the first thing to note is that some of your stencils may be smaller than your canvas, and if that's the case, you're going to want to tape off or mask off the edge, because wherever the Mod Podge Ultra goes and you pour the glitter, you're going to get glitter there. So make sure you have all of your edges hidden that you don't want to get your Mod Podge Ultra on. And then when I was first testing out this, it seemed like I was spraying a little bit on an angle too much. So you want to make sure you're spraying directly overhead so you don't have it go under. And then to help that even, we decided to do some weights. And these are the same weights that we ended up gluing onto the project because it looks so cute. You never know where a project's going to take you, right?
No waste here.
So you just weight it down. I don't know. I'm probably putting too many weights on Steve was making so much fun of me behind the scenes when we were doing this because I was acting a fool. I was just so panicked about glitter.
That's all right. That's all right. Your projects always look amazing. That's why.
Well, my first one did not look amazing.
Here we go. Okay.
Should we get it on the edge? Okay, so then, again, gonna go ahead and get that primed up, and then just go right on the very top. Very light coat. I hope I got everything. Let's see.
Hold it again.
I think I got it all. Okay, now you remove your weights. We don't want to pour our glitter now. We would end up gluing it all over our stencil. And then you're just going to lift up your stencil. And this is live, so let's hope it works good. And then just sprinkle your glitter onto your project. It's a little hard to see. We've got our filming lights on. There we go.
I'm going to pour it on here.
Yeah, let's see. I've got this paper here.
Oh, you got the paper, okay.
Let's see, we'll just, hopefully I got it everywhere that we need it. And we'll just tap off. Wow.
Voila.
And there you go. You can see how easy it is to glitter with the Mod Podge Ultra.
And then we added, of course, just the glass beads right on top of this just to add a little bit more embellishment. So these are great for kids' rooms. This is great for any type of, this is super kid-friendly art project to do with your little kiddos.
So, and to glue our embellishments, we literally just spray, and then you stick down a glass bead, and then you just spray on top of it. Yeah. And you can see they are not going anywhere.
No pressing, no holding, nothing. That's it.
And where can people get these stencils?
These stencils are available at Plaid Online and Walmart.
Yes. Okay, so next we're going to show you, I mean, these little guys are amazing. This little bunny came from a dollar store, I believe. Wasn't this the dollar store?
I think so.
Yeah, this was a dollar store.
We shopped everywhere.
We shopped everywhere. So you can get, I mean, any type of these little figurines are everywhere. And any which way we can kind of bump things up and make them look a little bit cooler, we do. So with the Ultra, with the Mod Podge Ultra, this works great with glitter. And as you can see, it was super easy. We just sprayed the bunny, added glitter, almost the same way Cathie just showed you with the stencil, and then we sealed it, and the glitter does not move off of this. So that's one way you can do kind of little figurines with glitter. Or we did this bunny with a napkin. Now there are so many different kinds of napkins out there, so many different styles. We love doing craft projects with napkins, and I'm going to show you very quickly how to do this. You're going to take your napkin.
And I love how this technique turned out.
So this is 2-ply. You just want to make sure you remove the first ply. And then I like to go in and make sure and just cut away, just rip. I like to rip edges. I don't like these straight edges because sometimes you get those lines in your projects, which I'm not a big fan of.
Well, and this napkin's so cool too because it's like watercolor, which is super trendy right now, but also no matter how you layer it up, you know?
Yeah, it just kind of all blends together. And I just like to get my pieces like so. Just get about 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 pieces going at a time. Okay, and then I like to use a brush.
This is the only project with Ultra you'll see a brush in.
Then I'm going to find a nice little area, like maybe back here, maybe right here. You're just going to spray it. You're going to take your napkin, and then I gently just press it down, like that. Then you're going to take your napkin, layer it up.
And this is so fun too, again, for like a tablescape. If you've got these paper napkins that you're going to be using, you can create a coordinated look with your decorations.
And then I'll take a little bit more, one little spritz, place the napkin down, use your brush, and just press it in. And look at it, it gets right into those grooves. And that's what's so amazing about it. It kind of really gets, this little bunny has detail in it. So the napkin just lays perfectly right down there. This is too much fun. Let me do a little more.
I know. I was like,
it gets addictive.
I think I'll keep those rabbits for my Easter table.
It is. I mean, this is great for any kind of holiday. And again, Kat, this is great for tables, scapes. Place that right down.
Well, even if you had all mismatched, you know, if you had candle pieces, you had little bunnies, you can do this onto anything.
Right. And again, as we know, using napkins is so trendy. So, and again, one more time, it's completely durable. There is no brush strokes on this, and there's no tackiness. This is going to dry immediately. So if let's just say I finish this whole bunny, I just go right on top of it, give it a couple spurts, put it aside for 4 hours, and there you have it. That's what he turns out to look like. Pretty groovy. Okay, and that's using Mod Podge Ultra with napkins.
So we've got a couple more projects to show you. We're going to teach you how to do paint pouring with the Mod Podge Ultra. Yes, coming up, we're going to show you how to paint and marbleize with the Mod Podge Ultra. And next, I'm going to show you how to create this fun spring floral bouquet. Now, this is all fake flowers, and these are flowers that are created with fabric that has been stiffened with the Mod Podge Ultra, and even our pot got a Mod Podge Ultra makeover. So this was really fun if you want to create an everlasting floral centerpiece or just a home decor piece, again, that could coordinate to something else. I found this fun fabric that reminded me of the 80s. I had a lot of dresses like this. And I took my pot, I just had a pot like this, and I had a piece of brown paper. You see it, Steve?
Yeah, it's over here. There you go.
So I created a template of my pot just by rolling some craft paper around it, like so. And you want to have a little extra on the bottom and a little extra on the top. And then from there, you want to cut out your fabric using that paper template that you've created. Because all these different pots and vessels and stuff are a little bit different. So that's just a really quick step to make sure that you have success. So once you've cut out your fabric, I'm not going to demo this whole thing because I want to get to show you how to do the flowers. But you would just spray your pot with the Mod Podge Ultra and wrap it, tuck in and tuck to the bottom. And it will dry just like this. You can see there's my seam edge. So I just sprayed it and put my finger down there. And I move that to the bottom. You could glue a felt circle or something there, but that's how you get that look down there. And then with that same fabric, I cut out some fabric pieces, just these flower pieces. And you can do like a motif that's got a couple of different flowers in it, or you could do one single flower like this. And from there, I stiffened them. So I don't know if you can hear that. Can you hear that? And to do that, it's super simple. All you do is you take your fabric cutout and you're just going to spray the back of it. So I like to do the back side because if there any, depending upon the fabric, you wouldn't want any residue to show. So if you do the back side, you're going to get a nice clean finish on the front. And then you're going to let that dry for about 4 hours. Actually, this lightweight cotton took about 2 hours to dry. And once it's dry, it'll be stiff like that. And then you're just going to fold it in half wherever you want and make a little tiny snip. Let's see if we can get that to snip. Is that big enough? Yeah, got a little hole in there. And if you look at the flowers, this is kind of the one I'm creating. It's got that big pearl in the center. And I created that just by adding a pearl to a piece of floral wire. And then you just go right through there, like so. And then I just kind of crinkle it up right around there. And then you can bend that however you want. You can wrap this with floral tape if you wish. And then you just go in. And it's easier if you wrap it with the floral tape. You can just add it to your arrangement wherever you want. I'll get that in there, just like so. So you can see we've got yellow flowers. We've got all different going on. You can create really big ones. Here's a large one with extra big leaves. Here's kind of a smaller hot pink one. It's just a really fun way. If you've got a cool floral fabric, you could do this with the same fabric that we did the artwork with too. It's just a really fun, simple spring arrangement. Now Steve has got,
we're
going to end
I'm over here mixing.
with the coolest,
Yeah,
is
so
the marbleizing.
Marbleizing is so popular right now, and the Mod Podge Ultra is amazing with the marbleizing. Oh, look at I got paint on me.
Here, I got wipes.
So all we're gonna do is, let me show you. I mixed already these 3 colors. We're gonna be using purples today, and I'm gonna show you how to mix with the white. So basically, we're using Folk Art the multi-surface paint, and in the cups that you're gonna use, you want however many colors you're gonna do, you want to use that many cups. You're just going to add whatever paint, however much you think, it depends really what your project is going to be.
How big your canvas is.
Something like this, I mean, this amount is adequate. And then add your paint inside, a dollop of your paint inside a plastic cup. And then with the Mod Podge Ultra, you're just going to add a dollop of it. Just like that. Now, I like to say it's kind of a little bit more of a runny syrup. And I'm going to show you that really quickly.
Yeah, you don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin. So there is a little, like, you kind of got to get used to it.
Yeah, and it's kind of runs like this. So that's kind of the consistency to it. And of course, the more paint you use, the more Ultra you would use.
And I think one thing to note about using the Mod Podge Ultra as a paint pouring medium is most paint pouring mediums are like a 50-50. So you're using a lot of product. You're not using very much. You're really just using a splash of the Ultra to the paint.
Good point, Kath.
Sometimes I have a good point.
So from there, here's a blank canvas, and we're just going to add some color. I'm just going to show you kind of in the middle here. You're just going to pour like so. There's one color, purple. We're going to add some of this right in the middle, right on top of it, just little dollops all over the place, because these are all going to run together and look beautiful. Here's another color, purple, right on top. Boom, boom, boom. And then we'll add, last but not least, we're going to add some white to that. And this is going to finish it off. Okay. That looks about good. I love playing with this stuff. Then you're just going to rotate and you're going to run it in all different directions and watch the magic happen. Now this formula, the Ultra, is great for marbleizing, guys. It works beautifully. You can see those colors blending together, really pretty. And of course, there's a lot of different ways to marbleize. This is just the simplest way on a piece of canvas. You're gonna just rotate it and keep turning it, and you can see how it all blends nicely together. You can add more paint to this. If you're running out of paint, you can go around the edges, but you can see how well the Ultra works with the multi-surface paint. It blends beautifully together. These are our purples. We did 3 different color purples and the white all together. And you can see that. So Kathy over here is going to show you a couple other projects that we did earlier.
So this is just sort of an ocean-y type one. You know what? We could have added some sand to this one.
Sure. You can add anything on top of these once they're dry.
So this is just all different blues and aquas mixed with the white. And we didn't do it today, but I like adding some of the metallics or even a splash of glitter in there.
I mean, the great thing about it is you can add anything on top of these with the Ultra.
I've been loving this fun spring kind of Kelly green. It's just another look. And then this is really simple for canvases, a really great thing, but you can also do this on any kind of 3D object. So we just did an initial here, D for Delilah. We've got our sort of Mod Podge colors going on there. And that was very simple to do.
And my favorite coming up.
So then we also did, this is less about the marbleizing and more of the drip marbleizing that is so popular too. So this is our 3D cactus, and we did it in all these bright, fun, springy colors. And our rocks down here, we added with, just with the Mod Podge Ultra as well. So everything here is just paint and Mod Podge Ultra to create this look. So simple to do.
And you would add the Mod Podge Ultra to each color, correct?
Correct.
Yes, correct.
And I'm adding more now. You can see, You can see how it's done. You just can just keep adding the colors, and you just keep moving it around. Look at how pretty that is.
That looks like real marble. See, I love, because to me, I think when you add those neutrals, the whites and the blacks, it really creates...
So you can see, you can get the point, yeah. It does, absolutely. Isn't that nice?
Cool.
Very cool. All right.
So there you have it. That is Mod Podge Ultra 101. All the things you can do with it.
You guys have to try this stuff. It is amazing, and I think once you use it, it's going to be in your craft supplies because you're going to figure out where to use it and how to use it, and I think you're going to love it. Should we go through all the products that we did?
Well, and I think let's just review again. So it comes in the 8-ounce bottle and the 4-ounce bottle, and again, it's gloss and matte. So you can, depending upon the look you want, the matte bottle needs to be shaken a little bit more than the gloss. No big deal.
It's indoor, outdoor, UV protection,
high
adhesion, and scratch and water resistant.
Again, you want to, when you first get started, give it that shake, give it a little prime before you get going. Once you're finished with your project, you want to get a baby wipe and clean that nozzle because it's glue and sealer. I mean, you don't want it to glue shut. So just clean that and cap it off before you put it away. And what all can you do with it?
But it's also super durable.
Oh, yes.
It's one of my favorite things. It's non-tacky. So after about 4 hours, it's completely dry. There's no worrying about weather, climate.
Coasters,
it is dry. Yeah.
And I love the no brush strokes, and I also really love that it self-levels. So even if you did go in with a brush to smooth things out or use your finger to work on the project, that's going to self-level. And like all of these here, I use my finger on them. There's no finger marks at all.
And you know what I love the most about it? That it's a spray. Are there any other questions?
People want to know if they'll be able to get it in the UK, basically worldwide, when it does come out eventually.
Well, Plaid will have to answer that question, but I'm sure of it because
Plaid online.
When we were at the convention, I saw lots of European store owners that were there that were interested. So I'm sure it'll be through their distributions. Yeah.
And will the spray also work for foiling?
I'm not sure what.
Like
are you talking about
like
for
gold leaf?
Like on clothes?
They did not specify, but I'm guessing it might be like with the gold leaf.
Yeah, it would.
If you're talking about like the rolls of foil is what I think you're probably talking about, it would probably work the same way the glittering would. I mean, yeah, I think it would. We did not test that, but I don't know why it wouldn't. I think you're probably saying that you would put it on and then put the foil and lift off.
Yeah, if it's a gold or silver foil, we haven't done it, but I can't imagine it not working.
Yeah. You might need to wait like a few minutes before you put the foil down so that you get a little bit of the tack going on. Yeah. And I would only use a thin coat.
Very thin coat, absolutely.
Any other questions? Okay, so let's review. It's a glue, a sealer, and it glues all your embellishments down. But in addition, you can do mosaics you can glitter with it, you can sand with it, you can marbleize with it. You can use it with paper and fabric. It's really endless.
Where's our three-dimensional board? Let's bring that back up.
Oh, it's down here.
Yeah, so we can show that again just for you guys that are tuning in. And
these are all the different things you can glue with it. All the different materials.
Yeah, those are tons of embellishments that we use. We just kind of plucked certain things to show you that how it works on almost every surface.
Metal, glass, plastic, chipboard, sand, seed beads, glitter, kids, googly eyes things, even fabric patches.
Yeah. So would you be able to paint over the wood once it's been sprayed and sealed?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We will circle back and answer any questions that we didn't cover. And, this video will be archived on Plaid's Facebook page and on their YouTube channel. So you can check back whenever you need a refresher to see, once you get it in your hands, how did they do that mosaic again?
And take a try at Mod Podge Ultra Spray. We love it.
Be sure to share, Plaid Crafts on their Instagram, on their Facebook, on their YouTube, wherever you are social media with them. And be sure to tag them so that we can see what you make. See you next time.
Bye, guys. See ya.